Okay, let's see. Hang on. I don't know why it's not starting. You guys, I'm getting so mad. Okay, finally. You guys, that was really frustrating. I tried so hard. I was actually on time. Okay, I was like 5 minutes late. Let's just be honest. But I can't even tell you. It was so, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. Yarnitarian. Knitting yarn, fiber, and life, while high on Cheetos and cheap American beer. Booyah, booyah. No, so just to let you know, this whole setup that I have is very complex. So I'm going to bore you with the details. The camera is like the same camera that when we were shooting Sheer Madness, it's the exact same camera that they used for B-roll. And so it's like a documentary type camera. And then there's this encoder, and the encoder is like an intermediary between like YouTube and Facebook, etc. And so what it does is the encoder allows me to be able to go across multiple platforms. But it's, I mean, the whole thing, I mean, there's a lot of communication going on. Like the camera has to communicate to video, which is the encoder, and then the encoder has to blast out to all of the different platforms. And, but it's very, sometimes it can be very finicky. And it's just something like, I think I was telling you before, like my internet was so bad because my girlfriend, even though she had shut her, like, and taken her iPad off of the internet, it was like trying to constantly download because she hadn't updated in like 4 or 5 years. And so it ate all of our bandwidth. And so like I would keep dropping off the internet during my feeds. It was horrible. And the funny thing is that my kids even said, ever since Aunt Jenny came here, which was months ago, our internet's been terrible. And we didn't, it was, anyway. So it doesn't matter. But the whole point is that it's very complex and it really sucks when shit happens. And I'm so sorry, but happy Valentine's Day. Do you guys even care? Do you even care about Valentine's Day? I actually do. I actually do care about Valentine's Day. And for the first time ever, in 26 years, I bought my husband a card. I actually bought him 2 cards. And he always has bought, the entire 26 years, he's always bought me flowers, and he's always bought me cards. He always buys me cards from me. I'm just not a card person. I think they're kind of like a waste of money, but I felt like I probably should do it because, I don't know. Be nice every once in a while. But anyway, you guys, I'm hoping that you guys got something good, like chocolates or something. Chocolate's always good, right? Or alcohol. Or chocolates and alcohol. So let me see what's going on. Okay, let me see. Hi, Benjamin. Hi, Renee's Crocheted Mandolin. Allison, Blair, 83, Susie Q, Christine, and Marnie, and Liz, and Kelly. I am so glad to see all of you. And so anyway, this is the thing. So I'm doing, you guys, I'm going to do this cult thing this weekend. I swear to God, and it is a cult, and they say it's a cult. Don't panic. It's not like Hare Krishna, right? And it's not like, you guys are like, I'm sure you're going to like be polyamorous. No, it's not polyamory either. What it is it's called the Landmark Forum. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. And so it's like $700 to go for the weekend, and I didn't pay for it because I can't pay for it. So I have a friend, and he's very intelligent. His name's Roger. I think I've talked about him before. But anyway, so this is the thing. When your life sucks and is shit, because basically I just have to let you know my life is shit. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like, people think because I'm skinny, like my life must be amazing. It's like, it takes more than being skinny for your life to be amazing. And, but when someone throws you a lifeline, you just grab it. And I always tell people, you have to put yourself, you have to meet people and put yourself out there. You can't be a homebody because you don't know where opportunity is going to exist. And I don't mean opportunity in the sense that it's money. I mean opportunity in the sense that there's somebody out there that can change your life and you don't know who that is. And so if you sequester yourself in the house and you don't do things, you don't want to go places because you feel like, you know, you just feel like you're old or you're tired or you just, you know, you don't want to socialize, etc. You really shouldn't do that. You really should make sure that I'm dead serious. And the hard thing is when you're a couple, like I've been for so long, you really are just happy. I'm just happy being at home. I really am. And it's very difficult for me to want to go out because part of going out for me, okay, this is probably, part of going out when it's like socializing and like flirting and etc. And when you're married, you don't get, that just cuts that whole section out. And I love to flirt. I mean, I'm like a huge flirt, but out of respect for my husband, I try not to do it. But technically you could look at flirting as just being friendly, right? And when I say flirting, I don't mean like something provocative, but I, in general, say things that are provocative. I mean, I'm kind of a provocative person. And so, certainly, you know, there are some people that could think just my general conversation is flirtatious. And it's not meant to be. It's just who I am. But anyway, so the point being is that this thing called the Landmark Forum, it's basically, what they do is they keep you in a room for, I'm not shitting you, they keep you in a room from 9 in the morning until 10 at night, and for 3 days. And it's like kind of reprogramming your mind. And I literally, like, I know that I've talked about this, it's very difficult to change who you are, because we are completely, most of us are motivated through our subconscious. And, you know, if things are happening, you know, like buttons, like when someone pushes a button, and I have a lot of buttons, let me just tell you, a lot of buttons. And so it's thinking about not having these buttons be pushed by somebody is almost impossible. I can handle it. Like, let's say somebody's rude to me. If somebody's overtly rude to me, I'm going to give them a pass in this conversation. I'm going to give them a pass maybe 3 times. I'm going to try and be nice about 3 times. And about the 4th time, I'm going to say, I'm going to tell you something. You just fucked with the wrong bitch. That's what I'll say. And I'll say, I literally, and so the person could be totally blindsided and just think that I'm crazy. But that's basically the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And I mean, I'm pissed off. And when I'm pissed off, like, I'm a total, like, I really will throw down. And it's not good, because it's literally a button of mine. It really has nothing to do with the person. So whatever the person, why the person was an asshole, that's completely irrelevant. I shouldn't have to have these buttons. Like, I shouldn't have to, you know, be concerned at some event that somebody's going to put, and actually it happened at Stitches, you guys. The first time I ever worked for Stitches, it was really stupid of me. It was very stupid. But a bunch of the teachers, and they're all famous. They're all famous. So it's, you know, like there's, you know, Nikki Epstein, who I know. I mean, I know her. And, I mean, just several of, there are so many of, like, we're all in the elevator together. And they asked me, because I had my teacher thing on, that, like, the little, whatever it is, I don't know what that's thing, like, hang tag, I don't know what it is. And a couple of them asked, they were like, so what is your name? And I said, my name is Natalie. My name is Natalie. And they said, what do you teach? And then it's kind of embarrassing for me, because I know they're all professionals and really well known. And I'm well known in my industry, but in their industry, like, when I say I'm a shepherd, because really that, even though I make my living largely on teaching about dyeing and things having to do with fiber, you know, whether it's like teaching about fleece, you know, wool, etc. I feel embarrassed. I do. I feel embarrassed to say that to them, because I don't really know if they understand, you know, what it is that I do. So I was just like, oh, you know, I teach dyeing, and I, you know, was kind of dismissing what I did. And then then I had went up, we were in the elevator going up to the room. I went up and I changed, and I came back down to have a drink. And a couple of the gals that are really well-known teachers said, what is your name again? And I don't know why, but it just hit me the wrong way. I didn't like that they didn't remember my name. I thought it was rude. And I was like, my name's Velvet. I was really, and they're like, Velvet? Because it didn't ring a bell. And I was like, yes, my name is Velvet. And then I just turned around and put my nose in the air and walked off. And in my mind, like, Stitch It, you know, I probably wasn't going to work there anyway, ever again, because I didn't feel like I mean, I tried to do everything they wanted, but I felt like, you know, I didn't really resonate with the people in my class. I felt like they didn't like me. And it was in Texas, and so it was during the whole, when they had the storms. They're like hurricanes, like not storms, hurricanes. So they had hurricanes, and so it was really a slow Stitches. And so I was figuring that they would never hire me again anyway, and so I pretty much didn't care. And then when they, at the Stitches, they told me that I was going to be doing Stitches West, and I was going to be doing every Stitches that in 2018 that they had. And I was so disgusted at myself that I had this button and that I had to do that. I actually walked up to, her name's JC, and I apologized to JC. And I said that I was extremely apologetic for being rude, and that I, you know, was just really sensitive, and it was just stupid. It was just stupid. It was stupid, but it's like a button. It's a button, and there's no brake. There's all throttle. It's all throttle. When someone pisses me off, all throttle. And so I would like to get rid of that. I would like to get rid of that. And I don't know how one does that, because you can't control something that's in your subconscious. You really can't. I mean, you might be able to muzzle it, but if someone keeps like, or if you're tired or hungry, forget it. And so, so I'm going to go do this, and it's not going to be fun. And I really need the time to do other things because I'm extraordinarily busy with the Airbnbs, etc. And I wish I could turn the camera. If I turn the camera, I'll never get it back. But like right here, I'm having a sale on. It doesn't mean. I mean, there's a lot of fiber that's not expensive, but you know, I've got like I want to say 70 lots, LOTS, and of like teaswater, and then there's like combed top and yarns and dyed yarns and yarns that are undyed so that people can dye them, etc. And I've been doing that since 3 this morning. I haven't listed them yet, but they should be up by Sunday. And so I just don't have the time to do it. But then because he offered to pay for it, which was really difficult for me, by the way. It was very difficult for me to accept it because he kept telling me, Natalie, you need to go to the forum. Natalie, and he lives in Newport Beach. He's quite wealthy. And he kept saying, you need to go to the forum and I'll pay for it. And it's like, I don't feel comfortable having anybody. I don't even want someone to buy me lunch. Like, I want to buy everybody lunch. There's something about that too. Like, there's more. I hate to say this, but it sounds horrible. But there's more. I feel like I don't have any power when someone buys me something. I feel very uncomfortable, and so I prefer to be the one that purchases things for people. Like, so I would be like, oh, no, I'll buy lunch, right? And it's very difficult, and to accept things from people. And I would like that to go, quite frankly, too. But so then he said, well, you can feel guilty all you want, but you really need to go, and I want to pay for it. So then I said to him, is this a thing? Because it occurred to me, is this a thing since he keeps calling it a cult? And it's not like literally a cult like Hare Krishna, but I said, is this a thing where like if it helped you, then you pay it forward? And he said, actually, yes, that is what people do. So like if I go to the forum and then I end up, it betters my life in some way, then I would pay for somebody else to go. Like I'd find a person that I thought was worthy and I would pay for them. And so when I was talking to the gal, he gave me the name. And usually every time someone hooks something up, I know it's happened to you too. If someone says, I'm getting your hotel and don't worry, everything's paid for, just go to the concierge or go to the front desk. And then the front desk goes, who are you? And then it's just embarrassing. You're like, oh no, such and such has the room for me, and my name's Natalie Redding. And then they're like, we don't have anything for you. I can't even tell you how many times this has happened. So when I didn't want to even call and say, because I'm going to have to tell the person on the phone that I'm Natalie Redding and someone's going to pay for me $700, $695. He said, ask for Sherry. And I was thinking, how could Sherry possibly know who Roger Lockhart is, right? So, but I called and I said, hello, Sherry, my name's Natalie Redding, and I'm a friend of Roger Lockhart's. Oh, I've been expecting your call. Yeah, she's worked there 30 years. Anyhow, and then I told her that I felt really uncomfortable, and she goes, well, go ahead and feel uncomfortable. That's kind of your problem. And then I was realizing, I guess it is. She said that he's done it for a couple of people. And so, and there's nothing, he doesn't want anything in return. It's just, so anyway, I'm going to I'll tell you about it. You guys are like, we don't really want to hear about a cult. But a cult, I think they call it a cult, like jokingly. It's, because people, I think it really does change people's, it does. It can change your life. If you're not into it, like I have a friend that did it, and he did it only because a girlfriend wanted him to do it, and he didn't like it. I think you have to go there wanting to change your life. And then you can. And it's such a California thing, I think. This kind of thing is, I really do. I mean, it's all over the world, the Landmark Forum. You guys can look it up. But I think, because even growing up, I knew people that went to Est. And I know some really successful people that go to Est. And I remember thinking Est was like stupid and crazy because they also do things like, take a lot of hot tubs together, etc. And like, I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a chance in hell that I would be taking a hot tub with a bunch of people that I didn't know or that I just met during this, because it's too sexual. Like I want to have sex, believe me, all the time, but I want to have it with my husband. So I wouldn't be into that. So Est is quite different in that way. I'm not saying everybody does that, but my understanding was that there was a lot of like free love and stuff, etc. But anyhow, it'll just be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. And there's 100 people. There's 100 people, and then everybody that helps is the volunteer. You guys are like, we're so fucking bored because you shut up. I'm sorry. It's just kind of, the whole thing is fascinating because I want to change my life, you guys. I want to change my life. I want to be able to manifest the things that I want, and I want to not have these buttons because it's not helpful to want to kill people all the time. Like, it's not. It's bad. Okay, now you guys are like, could you just shut up and read what we're saying? I'm going to. Okay, and then they're talking about drop spilling. You're like, can we talk about fiber? No, it's so boring right now, you guys. We're doing the thing, and okay, hang on. Took my dog for a run, you guys. My first wheel. Oh, your first wheel came in the mail? Okay. Let's see. Could you guys please say something? Oh, that was before I started. Never mind. I was thinking you guys are so bored that you're just like chatting. And then, it's Sony, right? Sony, we already went over this, Natalie. Sony said, my daughter I loved Misty. I remember Misty. Misty loved one of your classes at the Texas Stitches. That was the first time I ever taught for them, and that's when I was just rude. I was just flat out rude, not to my students. That would not happen. That I would bite my tongue. I mean, that even if they were rude to me, which they have been. I am telling you, the one thing that's been very difficult, and Stitches has made me such a better teacher. I mean, such a better teacher. Because the knitter, people that are straight knitters are not, they want the meat and potatoes right this minute. They don't give a shit about anything. They don't want to hear stories. They don't want to hear anything. They want you to just get to it. And I'm a big storyteller and I'll tell you why. Because when you tell a narrative not about me literally, but it'll be about something that relates to what I'm telling them that's happened to me. So an example would be talking about the content of yarn, the content. And you have to understand that when it says merino, it may not actually be merino, like a pure merino. It's not like Australian merino necessarily. If it says Australian merino, you're good. But if it just says merino, then there's a good chance that it is either, they could be crosses or they could be, if it's from Peru, it's going to be something that is it's a quote unquote a fine wool for them, but it isn't really merino, because merino can't really live in that environment very well. Like they can if they're a crossbred and they have hybrid vigor or heterosis, but it's a harsh environment in Peru. So when they say they have merino, unless they've got it from Australia or some other country, it's not going to be it's going to have hair in it. It's going to be not very soft. So I would tell them, my experience and how I know these things. Having, when going to the wool depots in England is one way, and the way that they bale things and the way that they grade it, and I spend a lot of time there. I spend it when I go. I'm going to kill these dogs. I actually am. I want to just beat them up. Especially Connery's dog. That's the one I really want to pound its food, because I have Airbnbers here, but they all are going off the record. And then I want to tell you something else after I read your comments. Hang on. Hey! Get over here right now! I'm so pleasant when I scream. That's called being shrill. Jane, get over here right now. Well, they did shut up. Anyhow, so, but do you guys understand the whole thing about changing your life? You have to, if you continue doing the same thing, nothing is ever going to change. You have to change something. And I don't know what to change. I don't. So here we go. I'm going to try something. I'm going to beat that dog. Jane, get in here right now. Turd. Come, get in here. Come on. Come on, get in here. But if you bark in here, I'm going to get really pissed off. She understands that, right? Yeah. Lie down. Oh my God. Okay. So Nancy asked what the name of the cold is, and I said it's a landmark forum. And Michelle says I can't see any chat. Okay, could somebody help Michelle? Michelle, there's something you have to do. Damn it. There's something you have to do to see chat. Well, you're writing it, so how can you not see chat? Let me see. Oh, and the Dixie Doodle said my first video was you sharing the alpaca, the girl rocks most. Okay, I only did that literally because I hadn't done a video in a really long time, you guys. And I told my husband I need to do a video, and I was like, shit, that alpaca needs to be shorn. I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to shear that alpaca, and if it turns out and it's not a complete train wreck, then I'll put that up. It has 700,000 views, and you do know why, right? Because I'm wearing shorts. That was not on purpose. It was so hot, you guys. It was so hot that day. But it's monetized. So the good news is I make money. That's why I want everybody to come to YouTube to watch and be in chat on YouTube, because it's monetized and it helps. You guys, I am telling you, farming, if California, they don't want farming. They don't want cows. They don't want They don't want anything. These people, I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, how do you, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, when you don't want cows because of flatulence, are you kidding me? I mean, do you know how much pollution is in India and China? I'm telling you, like unreal. But we, for some reason, have to suffer incredible. And they want to, what are we going to do with all the cows? It's like, it's maddening. It's really maddening. It makes me sad. I'm going to have to leave California. I was born in California. I'm a native Californian. And my parents are native Californians and so on and so on. And so it just really bums me out. It bums me out because I love my state. I mean, it's such a great state, but it's been ruined. Enough of politics. I'm sorry. Okay, let me look. Let me see. And then Kelly says, we don't want you to shut up. Okay, I'm going to tell my husband that. And and then she says, if we did, we'd just turn you off. Okay, and Liz says, that sounds cool. The past 5 years I've been doing intense shadow work. Got rid of a bunch of buttons. Ooh, intense shadow work. Intense shadow work. I want to check that out. I don't know what that is. I really want to read what all you people, all you friends say. I didn't mean to say people. That sounded rude. Stop it! She's moving my thing. Stop it. And then Allison was saying, I'm used to paying for everything too, and I feel like I played my cards wrong. I need someone in my life to pick up the bill, not all the time, but sometimes. Okay, Allison Blair 83, this is the thing, I'll tell you. Okay, what happens is, because I will pay for everything, it's a weeder of people. So if I end up paying for everything, and it becomes like the 7th time, now I'm going to get mad, and I actually will just flat out say something. I'll say, okay, listen. Like, I love you and I love paying for you, but you have to reciprocate, or it feels like the relationship is completely imbalanced. See, I mean, it's the first time, I'm going to tell you guys something. The first time you say something like that, it's very hard to say, but once you get used to saying it like it is, once you get used to telling how you feel, it is so empowering. And to be honest with you, it's very intimidating and threatening to people. And I don't want to go around and threaten people and intimidate them. But I have to tell you, I'm very straight when I meet people. I tell them, hey, listen, I'm really straightforward. And, I don't want to be threatening to you, but I'm like almost a compulsive truth teller. Almost a compulsive truth teller. So sometimes it could be painful. I'm sorry, but it might be. It might be painful if you're a person that is not also straightforward and is not reciprocal in the relationship. And so very few people, to be honest with you, can really be. They can be on my inner outer circle, but they can't be on my inner circle, because it's blunt. It's pretty blunt. And if I have to be blunt, that means the person needed me to be blunt. So Allison, you need to make sure that you take care of yourself, because I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you guys something. Like I always tell you how my life sucks, and I'm just going to tell you, we had like a financial, it was really bad. It's really bad, and one day I will tell you exactly what happened, but nobody knows about it. There are very few people that know, and it's not because I'm a secretive person. It's just because I haven't fixed the problem yet. And so when I fix the problem, then it's inspirational. But if I'm telling you it and the problem's not fixed, it sounds like I'm complaining or I want sympathy. And I have to be honest with you. To me, sympathy feels really condescending, and I don't like sympathy. Even when my daughter killed herself, the people were, of course, sympathetic. My God, who wants to see somebody go through that? But I didn't want sympathy, because it wasn't about me. Of course, they feel sorry for me, but who wants someone to feel sorry for you? Like, nobody wants to be in that position. There are people, actually, that's not true. There are people that want to be in that position because they get secondary gain from the attention. But I didn't want it. I wanted to erase it. I wanted to take like a whiteboard and just erase that, and just get people to not feel sorry for me, because it felt like it felt like this wash, like this whitewash all over me. It's just like all this paint on top of me, and I just wanted to get rid of it. I just didn't want it. Really, I'm serious. I wanted my life to just go forward and people not to talk about it. I can talk about it, but I didn't want people, like every time, I just saw someone in Costco the other day, and they were like, oh my gosh, Natalie, it's so great to see you. Oh, I'm so sorry about Jory. I'm trying to, I'm in a different mode. I'm not in that mode. And then someone says that, and it's like someone just like slaps you across the face. And then her daughter's the same age as mine. And in her mind, all that she's thinking is, I'm so glad my daughter didn't kill herself. Like, so there's no nice way. Like, it's almost better for someone, for me, it's better for someone to not say anything. Just don't say anything about it. If I bring her up, you can say, gosh, I'm really sorry, that's terrible. And I'll tell you another, like a really good friend of mine, I want to read this so bad, but I want to tell you what happened. So a really good friend who I adore came over to my house, and it was like, I want to say it was a couple months after Jory died. And she was sitting next to me. I freaking love this woman. I love her. And people don't know what to say, so they say bad things. You're not going to believe she said this. So we were talking, and of course she was like, you know, because she loved Jory. And then she said, you guys are going to die when I tell you this. And she looked at me and she said, you know, I don't think I could ever kill myself. That's the easy way out. And had it been anybody but her, I would have throttled them. She would have left bleeding. But because it was her, I literally just let it go. And she was horrified that came out of her mouth. But the thing is, the worst part is that even though she was horrified, she was thinking it. And I defended Jory. I said, actually, that's not the easy way out. That's the desperate way out. That's the way that someone takes when they have no hope, right? And you know, and they do say they you know, shrinks, etc., say that suicide is a permanent fix for a temporary problem. Okay, you guys are like, you are so inspirational and upbeat, Natalie. Okay, we're moving on from death. Let's see. Happy V-Day. Hi, Susan Upson. Happy V-Day. That's like vagina. Happy Vagina Day. You're like, stop talking about it. I'm sorry. I know. Okay. It's our anniversary. 3 years, mandolin. That's so exciting. And Liz Rose applied some alpaca merino. You guys were talking well, and I'm just making sure you're a shepherd, not a sheep. That's true. Kindness is important, especially when other yarnies or with yarnies. Just my thoughts. Kindness is very important. And I sometimes can be, like, if I feel threatened, I can be not very nice. And then Dixie Doodles is saying, you're a strong woman, don't try to change that about you. I actually am. I am strong, but, you know, that's almost like an addiction. Like, I'm serious, like, I keep saying like, because that's so California. In California, like this Est and the Landmark Forum, I'm fairly certain the Landmark Forum probably started in California. Because people are so, this sounds, and it is, but people are so self-centered about themselves, like, as far as, you know, the one-upping on, you know, I'm a vegetarian, and, oh, well, I'm a vegan, oh, well, I'm a raw foodist. I mean, it's almost like they have so much time about themselves, right? And I think that people need to work physically harder. A lot of the work that people do isn't physical labor, and anybody who's a farmer understands how freaking tired you are. You don't have time to, like, obsess about whether or not you have the right vitamins. Like, literally, you just don't. You give a shit about beer. I mean, seriously, or a glass of wine at the end of the, I don't drink wine, but I mean, that's the kind of, or, you know, Cheetos or whatever. Like, all I want to do at the end of the day is, like, have a beer and just decompress. Like, I don't have time to think about, geez, you know, I wish I would have been on the treadmill for, you know, an hour today. The treadmill? Like, I don't need a treadmill. Okay, let's see. I'm going through. Hello from Mississippi, Nurse Wendy. And then Nurse Wendy says, I've never been on YouTube Live. You're not a virgin anymore. She's like, I know. Ann Bammert. My God. Did you get my message on Facebook? Ann Bammert. I freaking love her. Love her. Love her. Love her. We're going to be besties. Ann Bammert and I. This is the one I talked about you once. I was telling people how I was telling them on YouTube, and that you were named Baby. She was named Baby. Her dad named her Baby, and she changed that. She's from the Philippines, and so he named her Baby, and she changed it. When she was like, I'm not gonna, like, have my passport with Baby on it. Love you, and she's very generous, by the way. David Keller, Marina Camus to designate. Yes. Well, I know, but let's be honest, it is true. David. But it's just like the Teeswater thing. People call them Teeswaters when they have, like, you know, 1 scintilla of Teeswater in them because it sells better. And who's really, you know, a lot of these people, they're not even caring whether or not it's under 24 microns. I mean, how would they tell? Like, it's very, if you haven't handled a lot of wool. Okay, so we do this crazy thing. You know, the alpaca people know this. They do the micron testing, right? And with the laser scan or whatever they do. But in Peru, it's like the people that are handling it all the time, they know. They like just giggle. They're like a giggling that we go through all this other stuff, right? And so like if you handle enough wool, you can tell. And David handles a lot of wool. I handle just a shit ton of wool. I mean, really ridiculous. You guys, if you were here, you would not believe how much wool I have. It's, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of wool. And when you put your hands in that much wool, you really can start to tell. And I can look at almost, you know, you could bring me wool, a mystery wool, and I can pretty much tell you there's red herrings because there's outliers, right? So there are red herrings, but for the most part, I can figure out, you know, I can be close to what it is, even if it's like some sort of a cross, even if it's like, you know, a four-way cross, like it's 4 different breeds together. Let's see. Bond can be called merino. He says that it's a Corrido, Polworth, Ramblay, Targi. Yeah, if it means it. Yeah, but you know, you and I both know that most people don't even know what those characteristics are. Okay, but thank you for the information, David. People need to hear that. David, you're a good guy. Let's see. And then Vienne says, I lost my eldest daughter as well. Now it's surreal to lose a child. I've heard it all. People say the most fucked up things. Vienne, I am telling you, the one that really gets me is why. And then when I say, I don't care why. I don't care why. My daughter's not here anymore. They'll say, well, don't you want to know? And I say, I don't give a shit. My daughter's not here anymore. I could care less. What? I mean, how is that helpful? How is it helpful to know? It doesn't matter. She's not here. And every time I walk upstairs, I see her pictures. So there's I do have a channel. It's Natalie Redding. I don't know what the URL is, but there's it was a couple months before she killed herself, and she's in the car. I think she got an award for virtue at school. And like it's really short. It's like, you know, a minute or something like that. But she had a rose. Some guy gave her a rose and asked her to do a dance. And so I was, you know, I'm a teaser. I tease a little bit. You know, my grandpa used to do that. If he liked you, he'd tease you a little bit. If he didn't care about you, he wouldn't tease you. But she's giggling, and we're in the car. It's an awesome video. And then Dixie Doo said, admire the way you handled it. Well, I love her. That's why. But I wouldn't have had it been somebody else. I'm going to tell you right now. They would have left bleeding, and I'm not kidding you. And then Amber Holter says, you are canon, and some people don't know how to take it. It's true. My husband's like that, too. And when people first meet him, they assume he's a jerk. He's really not. He's just blunt. And the thing is that, you know, truth can be a weapon. And so I do try not to use it as a weapon. Meaning, like, sometimes people will say the truth to be mean, to be cruel. And, but I feel, I don't know what happened to me. I feel a duty to tell the truth. I will tell you, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do that I felt so powerless as a child, felt tremendously powerless. And, I had a boss. I was taking care of myself. I was an emancipated minor. So I was going to high school, and I was working for the wharf. Allison LaFane has been on here, and she was the hostess there, and I took her job. I took it because she wanted to move on. And so it was a great job and a really good job, and really a lot of pressure because they'd have, like, you know, 350 people in the dinner, and I would have to keep track of them all by myself. And, like, I mean, it was really hard. And the head waitress was such a bitch to me. She treated me like shit. And I needed the job so badly. And she was so dismissive of me. She was probably, I want to say, 4'11". You know, she's pretty overweight, which I have no problem with. But I think she, looking back, reflecting, I think she resented me because I was young. And, you know, I just think she was, jealousy is such a horrible thing, and I don't like to ever consider that someone's jealous. That's why they're mean to me. But in retrospect, I think that had to be it, because I was really a hard worker, such a hard worker. And but she just treated me so badly. And one of the bartenders treated me really badly, like a dumb blonde. They treated me horribly. And I remember feeling so disempowered. And one day I just said to myself, I will never allow someone to treat me bad again without saying something. And like, it really, thank you, Connor. And he took his dog, thank God. And so that, it was so devastating. It was made such a deep impact on me. I think that's what happened. And so now, but it's too much now. Like, it's too much. Like, literally, it can be the lady in the bank that like sighs and like kind of just like is having a bad day and looks at me, and I will call her out right away. I'll just be like, you know what? I'm a customer and I don't appreciate your attitude. And then of course it escalates. The minute you say that, like now, like, what is it? What's the thing? So is it Sophie, hold bar the door? Who is it? You guys, come on, tell me that idiom. It's an American idiom. Somebody bar the door. Tell me who it is. Someone else tell me. Anyway. And then, wait a second. Someone said, I signed up for Stitches West. Wait. Phineas Pratt said, hello, I just signed up for one of your classes. Stitches West, thank you. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. Thank you. That makes me feel so good. Stitches, like last year, I worked all of their events and I tried my hardest. And I'm not working as many this year. Obviously because, I'm just guessing that they don't love me as much as I love them. But I'm doing their the most prestigious events are the Camp Stitches. So I have Camp Stitches in New Mexico, which is really good. The Camp Stitches are really good because you can get really, really down into things, and because you can like expand and you can really bond with people. But on the other hand, if you have someone who doesn't like you, like I had last time, then it's really a bummer. It's really a bummer because you have 3 days with them. And then Vienne is saying, I got my super awesome box, beautiful. I can't remember what I sent you, Vienne. And then, but thank you. And Dixie Doodle said, you're such an inspiration to me. Okay, well, that makes me feel so good. And then, hi, Dream, I don't know how to say your last name. I'm sorry. I'm like, you guys, I'm challenged. And thank you. New to your channel, loving it. And Catherine Rainey, I love you, Catherine. I always say that to Catherine. Catherine, I should just call you, it's Catherine Rainey. And then in parentheses, ball breaker. Catherine Rainey Ballbreaker, who I totally love. Highly intelligent. Very, very smart. But I'm going to tell you, Catherine, I couldn't be your boyfriend because I have a feeling like you're like a deballer. I am too, by the way. I'm like, you have testicles? Let me remove those for you. And then David Keller has his little wink face, which I think is super cute. And then Twisted Mom Yarn. Hello, I'm here. I'm so glad you're here. And then David Keller says, personally, I really hate it when the industry gets sloppy on saying what it is, and it's allowed to get really, it is allowed to get really sloppy. Except, remember, God, you guys, Debbie Bliss got nabbed for that one. Hi, Mike O'Brien. Hi. It's so great to see you. And Hexenwald Ranch, thank you. And then Mike O'Brien says, see, this is why I love you. I love you too. I really do, and I so appreciate you. Like, you are one of the first people, like, if I post something, he's like one of the first people. And you guys, I am not kidding you. Like, Trisha and Kristen get angry, not angry, but they get bummed out at me, not for me, at me, because I don't post very much, and I don't, go and post on other people's things because it's all I can do. Like, I'm not kidding you. It is all I can do because my life is in such chaos. But I try not to, I don't want to telegraph that. Like, I'll telegraph it to you because you guys, now this is the 10th episode we've had. And I will tell you what happened, and it's your mind is gonna freaking go numb. You're just gonna be like, how does anybody deal with that? And but you have to, you have to put one foot in front of the other. And but they tried. I told you, were the ones that wanted me to start doing this because it's much easier for me to do something live than to do posts because I want to communicate with people. Like I want real relationships with people. I don't want just, I want real relationships, not just, commenting on something. I don't know. It's just who I am. Like, I would much rather have you in front of me, with me, and, than talking on the phone. Like, I love interpersonal relationships. And I love eye contact. Like, I get upset with my husband because Jenny and I have had some, it's been like I've gotten mad because she'll ask me a question and then she'll start doing something as I'm answering it, and then I'll just be like, okay, you know what, I'm going upstairs, and then she's like, wait, and I'm like, no, you know what, I have to have eye contact and it's when it's happening and I say that to somebody, I feel like how demanding of you. You have to have total focus. But I want someone to look me in the eye when I'm talking to them respond back like I want it to be an interaction. I don't want it to be an afterthought sort of thing, or like they're concentrating on, you know, making food for one of the kids or whatever. I just want love. I just want love like everybody else. I want love, and I want to feel that love from my friends and from my husband and from my children. And one of the ways that I feel love is attention. So I need attention. I not like someone following around like a puppy dog, but when we're communicating, I need someone to look at me. So please, you know, I will say, please, I need you to look at me. And then if someone's like, oh, I'm trying to do something else, I'm like, then don't ask me a question. Don't ask me a question and try to interact with me and then act like you're busy. Because if you ask me a question, and especially, you know, if it's something that I need to think about and it requires like eye contact in my mind, because it's like definitely an interaction, not just like, what are you doing today, Natalie? You know, sort of thing. Don't ask the question if you can't look at me while I'm giving you the answer. You're like, wow, this girl... You guys, it might be all taken away, because Roger says that people that once you are powerful, you don't need to feel powerful. Once you're powerful, you don't need to telegraph it. You don't need to be a dick. I don't need to go and like assault people, essentially verbally assault them when they're rude to me at the bank. Like, I want to get rid of it. I want it gone. Okay, so Catherine wants to know why I call her a ball breaker, because you're so straightforward. She's straightforward. Like, that's why, Catherine. You're very straightforward, and when I say ball breaker, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, you're a strong, independent woman, and you just are very straightforward, and she's not afraid to ask for what she wants, and you just are. You're so incredibly straightforward, and I appreciate it. There's nothing about you there's nothing about you that I don't like. I love her. I think you're beautiful. I think you're a great businesswoman. She's a super good businesswoman. And I respect you. So, scraps of wool yarn make great string silencers for bows. That's awesome. And then Dixie says, we love you, Natalie, because you're not cut from the mold. Well, yeah, but sometimes I'd like to be. Katie, bar the door! It's Katie bar. What, Sophie? I'm like, I knew it was an IE. Katie bar the door. I wonder where that came from. I'm going to look it up. Oh, and then Catherine says, my boyfriend of 9 years is so pampered, spoiled rotten. I'd love to visit with him. I don't doubt that you spoil him. I don't doubt. But I don't, God, I would love to talk to him. You know what's really cool is to like when you know someone in a certain way, but you don't know anybody that they know. And then you meet people that they know. And then you see how they interact with them. It's like a total study. And then you learn so much about them. I'd love to meet someone you know, Catherine, that knows you really well. And Madeline says my friend had a good... Oh, she's resting? Well, she should join us. And then Dixie Doodle, you can't fix this knitting at least until morning. Are you doing the knit along? Because if you need help, I'll go on. When can I do it? I won't be. I'm such a dick because I'm going to be at this thing, so I won't be able to do it till Monday. But Trishy might be able. Trishy's awesome. So if you're doing, if there's something like that, and there's something that you don't know how, which I'm guessing you just don't want to fix it. But if you don't know how, Trisha will help you. Do you like how I committed to that? Trisha Silvera. She's freaking awesome. And then, wait a second. Finish my hat already. Sandy's Glass Shack. God. Sandy's Glass Shack. I want you to, I don't want to learn I don't want to learn stained glass because I tried that in high school and I sucked really bad. But I do want to learn how to make things with glass. I do. Someday you need to come here. You can stay at my Airbnb for free. And maybe we should explore. Let's explore that. You're like, just what you need, another hobby. It isn't fair. Shannon Teller. And then Dixie says, I've been a hairdresser forever. I don't have great eye contact because I'm used to... Oh! Are you sure? Or maybe that's... maybe an excuse? I don't know. That's interesting. Well, then you must know Sean's dad. I mean, not him personally, but you must know of him. And then Michael Bryan says, so sweet. And Pam says, having eye contact allows you to read body language. Yes. And many people take in 50% of a conversation through nonverbal interaction. Talking to people holding a phone is dismissive. Thank you. Thank you. Like that, Pam Doyle, totally, I feel dismissed. If somebody is doing something while I'm talking to them, especially if they've asked me a question and I'm trying to answer it, I feel completely dismissed. And my husband, I didn't notice this. I have a friend that gives you eye contact all the time, like constantly eye contact. And so I didn't realize, and one day I just realized this person gives me eye contact constantly. I feel totally, it makes you feel so important that they're always giving you eye contact. But what it did is it made me realize that my husband doesn't give me eye contact. So then that became a thing. This is just recently, like in the last 6 weeks. So then I'm telling him, Sean, I need you to look at me, please. I need you to look at me. And it's really difficult for him. He'll look at me for a couple of words, and then his eyes, he'll look up at the ceiling. It's very, I think once you're used to not looking at someone in the eye, I think it's very hard. And I think you feel like maybe very vulnerable. Like I think he feels very vulnerable, especially because I can be very threatening, even in a non-threatening conversation. And then Dixie Doodle says, once you're powerful, you accept everyone as is, I guess, she says. And I don't know, you guys. I really hope that I learned something. I mean, you can learn. Jan Massey says, you can always learn something. And then Allison says, I need to finish watching your video from yesterday. I noticed my pattern for the slouchy hat says to knit front, knit back. Not sure if you covered that yesterday. Knit front, knit in the back. You knit, but I need to figure out what that is. Knit in the, okay. Yes. Yeah. So when you knit in the front, you literally, instead of, okay, normally when you purl, you go down. When you knit in front, do the knit stitch in the front. Right? So instead of do it like a purl, but don't go downwards, do it knit in do the front. And the thing is, I'll tell you right now, if you put knit in front and knit in back into YouTube, there will be somebody, and some of them, there's a couple things that I've needed, there's many things that I will need help with when I'm knitting, especially if it's, fairly complicated, because I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, even though I've been knitting forever, I'm not a great knitter. And that's what Patty Henley is for, the master knitter that's a friend of mine. But so I'm trying to find things, and the knitting teachers are so, I mean, they talk so slowly, which I guess is good, but I'm like, can we get to the point? Just get to the point. And the point is, it might only be 50 seconds, but I'm like, could you just get it in the first 10? Because I'll end up scrolling through the thing, and it's just, and that their tone is very monotone, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it's painful for me. Painful. Okay. But I'm not a knitting teacher by any stretch of the imagination. I just also want to say that. And then, wait a second, I accidentally hit this. I like how every time I see something, it's Mike saying something nice to me, like my eye purposefully goes there. Mike, it truly does. Because you know what, everybody, I have huge insecurity. I mean, I do, I went somewhere, when I went to have my tooth done yesterday, I didn't wear makeup. I can honestly tell you, that is the first time I have went somewhere without makeup in. I can't even tell you. I mean, I really can't. I can't remember the last time I went somewhere without makeup on. And the only reason I did it was because if I didn't get there on time, they would take my appointment. They would not let me in, because this is going to be a 2-hour appointment, which it's still not finished, and it hurts, by the way. And I felt so uncomfortable when I was talking to people, because I especially when they know you with makeup and now you're talking to them without makeup. In their mind, I think they're thinking, wow, what's wrong with her? Or she looks sick, right? And then Catherine Rainey says, thank you. And I mean it, Catherine. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And then Sandy says her hands don't know how to stop. I'm proud of you. And then thank you, Mike, for the backdrop comment. It's, the rest of this place is such, you would freak out. There's a lot of equipment, etc., and just tons of fleece, but I'm missing the organizational. There's something that helps you organize in your brain, and I don't have it. So that's one thing I loved about Jory. She had it. Like, men have it where you can do, is it Tetris? Where you can, sort of thing where you go and you can, pack everything and you make it perfect and you can maximize your space. I can't do that. I'm shove it in and slam the door. And I, quite frankly, could care less if it's broken. Just get it in. And then David Keller says, when are you going to crash into the Angora market like a wrecking ball? I don't, are you talking to me? Because I don't, you know, Angora, I got to be honest with you. There are goat people and there are sheep people. And Nat is a sheep person. Goats are precocious and they think, and they don't like to listen to the dogs. And they don't thermoregulate well. So like I had to worry about my goats today because it was just pissing down rain like horribly. And they, you know, it's hard on them because they can't insulate with the wool. The wool is really good with water, but you know, mohair is terrible with water. It's just like compacts and it's just like, they're like, you know, wet cats. They're just way more, I mean, mohair is my favorite fiber, but goats, I've got to tell you, not into it, not into them. And I have, you know, 50, 60. Or are you talking about rabbits? You could be talking about rabbits. But I've had rabbits, and it's too hard. And then Dixie just says, I love it when I finally meet my client's husband. I mean, I know. It's cool, huh? It's I love that, too. I love when people meet my husband. Because he's got these, you know, those dreads, and he just, you know, people always say they think I'd be married to someone named Sven that's like 6'4". My husband's like 5'5", and he has dreads, and I think he's the most amazing person in the universe. I just look at him, all I see is beauty. That's all I see is beauty. Oh, Dixie Doodle says, I'm going to fix this thing as soon as my beer wears off. That's funny. And she says it could be an excuse, but you can't look at eyes as much if you want to stay on schedule. Okay. Okay. You know what? It's okay if you have, especially if you recognize it could be an excuse. And then Shannon says that she knits flat, and so it was hard to get her hands going. Catherine Marie says, amen, put down your damn phone. Exactly. And then spousal eye contact is different too. It actually is different. But I really need him to have eye contact with me. And Lara says, I look straight into people's eyes. Oh, yeah. Who I be? Who I be? Who I... Is that an acronym for something? David says, I have to force eye contact. Oh, I really hate lots of eye contact. So hard for me. Oh, David, I'd be like this. I'd be looking for your eyes. I'd be like... David, right here. And check out Love and Stitches Co. on Etsy. My wife loves to crochet and would love to learn to knit. Oh, Love and Stitches. So it's Love and Stitches Co. on Etsy. So basically what it would be is it would be Etsy.com. It would be Etsy.com/Love and Stitches. Will do. And then let's see. Wait, I'm sorry. I like scrolled. And then Lara says, I feel I can trust. Okay. And then Nancy says, Sean's very shy and introvert too. That would make eye contact difficult. Sean, actually, Nancy, Nancy's met my husband a couple times, but Sean is very introverted, and I love introverts. I am very attracted to introverts. But you would think after all these years, he would want to have eye contact with me. I love that she notices that. It's very empathetic. Nancy, did you notice my star I'm wearing? I love it. Benjamin, I'm on the high functioning end of the spectrum, so I have to consciously force myself to give people eye contact. Oh, Benjamin, are you Aspie? Because you know Aspie people I love Aspie. Love Aspie because there is manipulation, but not ever intentionally and straightforward. I have a lot of friends that are on the spectrum. Some people have brains that can't focus on what they're saying while looking at it. What? Mary, is this real? It doesn't mean they're not focusing on it. It's just, Mary, is this real? Is this for real? I mean, are you like in psychology? Is this real? I want to fact check this because I'd be a little more empathetic if that were the case. I just feel it's flat out rude. And then Lara says she sent half of her chat exam. Yeah, that's okay. We love you anyway. And then Catherine Rainey says, I thought you did a great job in the first knitting tutorial. Oh, what I did, you guys, I don't even want to tell you. Like, I want to take it down so bad. I spelled gauge wrong because I'm an idiot. I am. You're like, is that why? I'm telling you, like, I don't know what and it's like Larry because I'm talking and it's right there and if I allowed comments, I can just guarantee you that there would be several people that would be like, she's so stupid. The stupid blonde, because people are so mean. That's why I don't allow comments, because they say the meanest things. So, well, I tried, and with the alpaca video, I learned very quickly to not allow comments, because everything was about my nipples, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing. Like, if you're going to make a comment, Does it have to be about my nipples? Like, everybody has them pretty much, right? So could you just not say anything about them? So, and you know, you still get the comments, but they're like you can allow them or not. Before, now I just don't accept them. Before I would be like, they have to be approved. But now I don't even do it because I don't want to have to read all the shit that people say. It's really, a lot of it, most of it's really negative. And so you know, I disclose, I am not a knitting teacher. I'm doing it because I want people to do this knit along. And I just, do you like how I stammer? You're like, no, actually we don't. But Trisha, usually when I teach, I tell stories because narratives, people, it's very easy to learn with narratives. And so, I didn't give any narratives. I just got down to it. Usually I try to be fairly entertaining, but I just wanted to give the information and move on. And so I think it was a little bit disappointing for her because she's like, you're so dry and flat, and usually you're fun. Oh my God, David had 3 root canals last week, and he feels my pain. My jaw is so messed up. Okay, let me just say, they used to do root canals where they do the root canal and put the crown on that day. And now, so will be the third time that I go back, and it's still not going to be done. It'll be the temporary, and then they'll put the real one on. But my tooth broke. It broke, so there's so little tooth left. They have to put like the peg. You guys are like, we don't give a shit, Natalie. Take better care of your teeth. And then Dixie says it's definitely harder to have eye contact without makeup. It is. And then Madeline says, I'd love to stay at your Airbnb, and I won't complain about money. I just love to show Daniel my home state and see family. You're welcome. Come here. And then, let's see. And then Dan says she did notice my star, and it looks nice. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And too boring being too. Sony says being on the spectrum. I'm telling you, I have so many friends. I really relate to people with Asperger's. I'm not kidding you. Does that mean? And so my friend, Laura Spinner, you know how they have those tests where you look at people's faces and you try to determine what that emotion is, and you have to do it within a certain amount of time. And I have to look at fate, like I literally have to read people's faces when I'm speaking to them. Laura is probably slightly on the spectrum. She's so freaking intelligent. This is from her own mouth. She said, you know, I'm probably somewhere like a tiny bit on the spectrum. I mean, she blew my doors off. It was like as if there were expressions, I had no idea what they were. And I consider myself to be really good at reading people. And then Michael Bryan says, yeah, I'm going to plan a stay at Airbnb. Do it. And farm and meet you and your hubby. You know, dogs are allowed. He has dogs. Dog, I know one. Beautiful. Perfectly groomed. Is it like not a Springer Spaniel? It's the other one. Oh my God, what's the other one? It's the Spaniel. It's like, what is it? It's like not a Springer Spaniel. Damn it. What's the name of it? The Spaniel. I hate Brittany. Brittany Spaniel? Brittany Spaniel? Is it Brittany or Springer? And then Mary says, yes, I've seen an article on it, and it explained her. I can look at people while they're talking, but it helps me focus to look at something neutral while I'm talking. I'm going to have to look this up, Mary. This is fascinating. And then David Keller says, high functioning here. I have a hard time visualizing what I'm talking about. If I'm looking at a face, so if I'm trying to explain something, I'm visioning, I have to look away or close my eyes. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Amber Pilkington. And then I thought your knitting video was great. It wasn't a spelling lesson. Okay, thank you. I can't believe I did that. Honestly, what a blonde. Very interesting and helpful. I'm going to work on my eye contact. Good job. I was homeless for a while and I didn't have access to medical or dental care. Oh, my son was homeless for a while because he was drinking. It was when he was drinking, and I told him, it's like, you can't be here around my children. You didn't have to. I was like, when you grew up, you didn't have to be around alcoholics drinking. Well, except for me, my husband. But you didn't have to. Okay, not. But you didn't have to be around people like urinating on themselves, right? And your brothers and sisters shouldn't have to see that. And so you're not, and this is when he was going to Chico State. And so I hadn't seen him in like a year and 3/4 or something. And then when Jory died, he came here and he was homeless. And he was also just a drunk. It was horrible. It was to see your son, who I'm telling you, my son, he was second in command at a military boarding school, a very prestigious military boarding school in Carlsbad, California, Army Navy Academy, $45,000 a year, and of 300 kids. I mean, he excelled so much in that environment, and he graduated from there. He went there for 4 years, and everybody was like, "This kid is going to make. He's going to be something." Like, really, I mean, people, his teachers used to tell me all the time, "This guy is going to be something great." And it's really unfortunate. It really makes me sad for him. And he is in recovery, and he's been clean and sober for 2 years. But he struggles because he won't, you know, a lot of people that he probably does have bipolar disorder, but he won't take medicine. And so his life is a struggle for him. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, but he's 28 years old now, and there's really nothing, you know, there's nothing you can do except, I try to be supportive. I really just try to be supportive. And when he goes, you know, when he's a dick, I tell him to get the fuck out of my house. That's what I do. But when he's struggling, I try to be really compassionate and just tell him that him being alive on this earth is enough. Right? Really? Because, you know, the last thing you want is another dead child. Okay. And Benjamin's experienced it as well. God bless you both. Okay. Or not. That's a Cocker Spaniel. No. Well, Pam said, Pam was going to say, Pam, that's not a Cocker Spaniel. No, it's not. It's like a Brittany or Brittany or the Springer. And then Benjamin says it makes working in customer service difficult for sure. Well, that's good. That's good though. That's good practice. And then Benjamin says he grew up with a Buffy Cocker named Grace. I love Cocker Spaniels. And then Diana says that she looks at people in the face but tends to focus on their mouth. And then Dixie's saying that 2 years, that it's great. 2 years is great. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. So you guys. So I'm just gonna now because I have to leave and go to this thing so I moved the next one the next week's episode only because what they do is they torture you for 3 days, and then on Monday you have a break, and then on Tuesday they have something where you come back. And this is in Santa Ana. So I'm in Temecula, which is probably 60 minutes from Santa Ana. And my girlfriend, thankfully, lives in Huntington Beach, which is like 20 minutes from Santa Ana. Jenny, I adore. And so I'm going to stay at Jenny's house. I'm leaving tonight, and you have to be there at 8:30 in the morning, and to start at 9. You guys, I am not looking forward to this. I have ADHD really badly. I can't even focus on something for 20 minutes. People in college never want to study with me. Because I'm like a 20-minute girl. It's like 20 minutes and I'm like, the only thing that I can do for like hours is sex. Anything else, forget it. I'm dead serious. That's the only thing that can keep my mind, I can stay on task. And like, I don't ever want to leave, right? But anything else, it's like, I think the maximum is about, and it sounds like cliche 20 minutes because isn't that like what they say an attention span of someone is? And so you guys are like, can we do anything fiber? No, we can't. But next week we might be able to, unless like my brain is fried. But I want to tell you that I love you guys. This is like the high point of my week. It's the high point of my week visiting with you. It makes me feel so fulfilled. It makes me feel so validated and important. And it like helps with my insecurities. I don't know why. And I love to share I like to share my life, but I like to share life with you, and I like to hear your lives back. And I love it. I love that we can interact. I love that it's not just like recorded and then like scrubbed meaning edited. So like the things that I say that are stupid, which there's a lot of them, cut out because that's what most people do. I feel like the only way, like I said, I only want real relationships. And even if it's just me bearing my soul and with all my warts and blemishes and like making mistakes and saying stupid things or whatever, I think it also helps other people because they're like, well, she makes mistakes too. And she's just a real person. I am just a real person with real problems. And one day you'll hear about them and you'll just be like, wow. Don't worry, my husband wasn't, because I do know people that like they've this one friend was a Seventh-day Adventist, and she left and came back, and her husband was in a shower with another man, which there's no problem with being with another man. The problem is when you're married and the wife doesn't realize it, and then she finds you in the shower with another man. Now that's a problem. Like that kind of thing, or even a woman. I don't know. Anyway, okay, you guys, I gotta go, but I wanted to tell you how much I love you. I do. I really do. And I hope that I see you. I can't remember what day I said it was going to be. Oh, it's going to be on Monday. It's going to be on Monday. You'll see the link is there. I want to see you on Monday. And I'm going to tell you all about the forum. And what if I even look different? You're I'm not going to look different, except I have acne, because the testosterone gives me acne. Maybe I'll have a big zit in the middle of my forehead. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, I will see you next week, you guys. And have a great weekend, and happy Valentine's Day to you. Blessings, everybody. Kisses and hugs, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Love you. And then don't forget, I'm having a sale this weekend at facebook.com/teaswatersheep. Teaswatersheep. I think it's going to be on Saturday or Sunday. You're like, wow. But I'll put it on my wall. Love you guys. Bye.